let's walk through how to create the floors in your affordable home project. Now, we're going to utilize a very similar process where we create one big floor, and then we're actually going to create parts, so that way you can actually create different flooring materials in each room of your home. So first off, probably would be the best thing is let's go ahead and go to the visibility graphics and let's hide the room tags. So that's under the annotation categories, and you'll see the room tags are in here. We can always bring those back, but I'm just going to go ahead and hide those so it's a little cleaner to be able to find. Now at this point, we should know where we want our walls. Everything should be placed exactly where we want it. So what I'm going to do now, just to make sure that these things don't move, is I'm going to highlight all the walls here. I'm actually going to filter, and you're going to see that it's got a few different items here. I'm going to go ahead and say check none, and then just check the walls and hit apply. And you're going to see only the walls get selected. And what we're going to do is we're going to pin all the walls. So I'm going to choose the little pin icon, the little thumbtack. And that's going to pin all those walls that way that they can't be moved. So I cannot drag these walls or move them, because usually a lot of different issues happen whenever we're able to drag those walls around. So I went ahead and pinned all those. All right, once we've had these pinned, now let's go ahead and go to the floor command. I'm going to go ahead and choose the wood joist 10-inch wood finish. That's a very similar type of construction floor that we would see in a lot of residential homes. And I'm going to make sure the pick walls option is selected. I'm just going to go and make sure that I get the outside of all the walls. So this is very similar to a process we've done before, but I just want the outside exterior walls. And I'm going to go ahead and select the green check mark. Now, while this is selected, you'll see that it has every room in the house is going to have the same hardwood floor kind of scenario. Doesn't really work well if we want carpet in bedrooms, we want tile in bathrooms and things of that nature. So what I'm going to do here while this is selected is I'm going to go up here to the create panel and select create parts. Once I create the parts, I'm going to go ahead and move up here to where it asks for us to divide the parts. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we've got a few layers in the floor, and it's going to divide those so that way we can individually separate and select different ones. So I'm going to say divide parts, and then we're going to need to edit the sketch. So I'm going to choose the rectangle option. So for example, in my utility room here, I'm going to want probably a little different flooring material than hardwood floor. Let's see here. Bedrooms, probably the same thing. As I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just go to the inside of these walls. Probably want different ones for our bathroom and for our closet. And so you see what I'm doing is I'm just kind of outlining on the insides of these rooms of which ones that I want. I'm going to go ahead and hit pause just for a second. I'm going to outline the rest of the rooms just to save time on the video, and then we'll come back and talk about what we're going to do with these. All right, I went ahead and outlined all the rooms that I think I want. There's one here that I might want to. This is a little linen closet that we might want to include. So that right there might have carpet. The rest of this I can probably leave in hardwood floor. I think that would be appropriate to probably leave there. Again, it's kind of up to you. You can decide what kind of flooring you want here. But definitely like here in the living room, I'm going to want carpet. Same thing in the bedroom. Tile in this bathroom. Here's another bedroom with carpet. Same thing with our master. The bathroom's probably going to want tile, maybe carpet in the closet, and then also the utility room's probably going to want some sort of tile or something like that as well. So I'm going to go ahead. Once I have all those areas, I'm going to hit the green check mark to finish the edit. And then it brings me back to modifying the division. I'm going to go ahead and select the green check mark again. And what we're going to see here is that as we go to our 3D view, this is the best kind of viewed here, is here now, if I select my flooring, you can see I can actually select the individual parts of my floors. So the nice thing is, like, here's the master bedroom. If I go down to in the properties and say material by original, if I uncheck this box, it actually lets me change from oak flooring to a different type of material. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick carpet. By default, there's just this red carpet. I'll show in a later video how to change some of those materials. I'm going to go ahead and just say, okay. And for right now, we're going to put red carpet there in the bedroom. Kind of makes for a nice contrast, especially for doing demonstrations. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing in some of these other bedrooms. I can select multiple ones to be able to kind of do that. Now, obviously, I can always go in and select different types of carpet and things like that. But again, unchecking those, I can select multiple rooms at a time and be able to change to, the carpet material. There we go. Okay, so now I can see those rooms are taken care of. Bathroom and maybe the utility room, I can go ahead and do the exact same thing. Change to like maybe a tile. Again, in another video, we will show you how to do some more custom kind of, I'll just do a porcelain tile for right now for those rooms. So there we go. This room, the living room, I think we're going to leave the rest of this on hardwood floor. And let's see, let's grab the little linen closet here. We'll probably put a little carpet in there too. Or we might just leave it as hardwood floor actually. So that kind of makes more appropriate sense. So we'll just see. Just depends on what you're wanting. And there's what we can do. So carpet gets put in there. There we go. There's our floor all put in. You're going to see here's the floor added on the outside. In another video, we'll cover how to put in, again, just doors and windows, and then also how to cover up the edge of our floor. But for right now, that is how you can, so you can see there's the different layers and the parts of our floor. And we'll cover how to cover up that with the trim in another video. But for right now, that's how to set up creating a floor and getting the separated kind of areas to where you would like them to be.